This video will explain the purchase of 4,000 Hong Kong dollars worth of CBD oils and the purchase of hormone creams that will help me sleep. The third video is basically summarizing what will work for me, and I'll add some final thoughts that might be of use to you. If you haven't checked out part one, it's in the link down below, as with everything else. And in that video, the mostly free tips are there to help you sleep for free. This one would cost you money if you went down this avenue to try and figure out what is the best way to get a good night's kip. And before we get into this video, I do have to say, obviously, I'm not a doctor, sadly, so everything that I'm sharing with you is not medical advice, yada, yada, yada. It's just my perspective that I'm sharing with you, and I hope it's just useful. Mute. So let's cut to the chase. 4,000 Hong Kong dollars worth of CBD oils, which is basically about 510 US dollars. And if you're in Britain, you don't want the conversion. Not today. With these 4 oils, I used them in varying dosages, using a small amount first and then going balls deeper on larger doses until I got a kind of effect. So I'd probably take 2 or 3 drops on the first night for a week, then I'd take 3 to 6 drops on the second week, then 6 to 9 on the third week, so forth and so forth, until they ran out. Let me say right now, it was not money well spent. And Murphy's Law kicked in because after I paid for all of these and tried them all, I then heard about CBN oils, which are newer and are supposed to directly influence sleep. And this mistake isn't mine alone, because when I went to the convention, all the CBD sellers of these products said they will help you sleep. They do so by calming you down so you relax. And as I made a record of using these CBD oils, making a record of how much I took each night, and I noted that I felt sleepy just one time. And please understand, I didn't buy 4 similar products either. With CBD oils, you have 3 types: full spectrum, broad spectrum, and isolate. Full spectrum has all the phytochemicals and some trace amounts of THC. Broad spectrum are almost the same, except there is no THC at all. Isolate relates to the purity of the product, like 90% pure, and again, no THC. In Hong Kong, we're not allowed full spectrum CBD oils. This one is an isolate, and these are broad spectrum. You'll notice on the bottles, they are of different milligram measurements. This one is 1500, whereas this one is 3000. So I would like to think I've tried a variety of different oils here. Now, I'm not going to be too unfair to CBD oils because they are there to help you relax and reduce inflammation. It's just that telling me that relaxing will therefore help you get to sleep, I guess that's what they're trying to say, isn't really fair to me now. So for sleep, CBD oils aren't effective, and I'm not prepared to spend money on CBN oils because of the expense incurred already. I basically took a chance and it didn't work. Some of the sellers stressed that you only need a few drops under the tongue and that will help you sleep. But by the end of each bottle, I was using milliliters, not milligrams, or the drops that they were telling me to measure the dosages with. I reckon I could have drank the entire bottle and there'd still be no effect. And if you're still interested, because I think you should still take a chance, because I'm not here to just poo-poo all CBD oils because I haven't tried them all, have I? What I do think you should do is try samples and really pay attention to what the oil is doing to you when you've taken them. They are expensive, and the sellers also like to promote, they did to me anyway at the convention I went to, they like to promote how organic they are, where they source the products from. So you think you're getting a quality product, and just because it's a quality product doesn't mean it's going to work. So you've really got to do your research and ask loads of questions if you're at a convention or if you're just buying it. Anyway, that was CBD oils. The next part of this video is to do with hormones. Melatonin is a hormone your body produces to help you sleep, and you can boost the amount in your body with supplementation with capsules. That's what I currently do. The next hormone is cortisol, and that's responsible for many things, not just with helping you sleep. It's there to regulate blood pressure, blood sugar, stress. In short, cortisol is nice to have in short spurts, but not all the time, as it can weaken your immune system. You need low levels of this at night to sleep and more in the morning to wake you up.
Yes, the epinephrine.
Adrenaline is basically the next one, and that affects many things in the body, but for this video, I will be talking about how it influences, obviously, your sleep. And serotonin, in many ways, is the opposite of cortisol. With the right balance, serotonin will lower cortisol levels. Oh, and another one, which I forgot, is progesterone. Progesterone. I think I said it right. It's a woman's word anyway. I'm mentioning these hormones because this has been the next step in trying to figure out how to get a better night's sleep. Yes, I have been to the doctor, but he basically said I should just get more exercise. But we'll talk about that later. I mean, look at me. I'm already Captain America. The first thing I needed to do was buy something and try and figure out if this other product would work or not on my body. That's where I bought this product, which is called Platt 5%. Link is in the show notes. A progesterone cream, which if you rub it on your forearms before bedtime, it will lower cortisol levels. But I actually think it worked one time. I could actually feel the difference. I felt sleepy. Could that have been a placebo? I'm not sure, but it was there on that first night. But importantly, it wasn't what the creator of this product actually said I'd experience. Supposedly some people, they apply it and then they feel it instantly. I didn't have that experience. And you can listen to him on the Hack My Age podcast. I'll put the episode that I edited for my friend Zora, who focuses on health and all this stuff, in the show notes, so you can listen to it for yourself. But I do hope you see that there's a theme whenever I'm buying something here. The episode itself wasn't a complete loss because he did explain something to me, which I've then tried to deduce for myself, or try and work out for myself. Basically, he said that creative types use a lot of their brain, and that requires a lot of energy. And if you get stressed, even though you're not doing anything that we would commonly perceive as stress, like getting into an argument, fighting with someone, or just having a really busy day, getting stressed. Sorry for my limited vocabulary. I know speak English. You are raising those levels simply by working on the computer, trying to design something, write something, make a YouTube video maybe, and that will actually impact your sleep as well. And the worst part is that I would find myself up at night just thinking about things, thinking about scenarios, whether they happened in real life, thinking about someone who used to bully me. I don't know, just all this negative stuff would just come to the front and I'd just be sitting there stewing on it. Or I'd be thinking about something that I created. Was it good enough? Should I make it, remake it, re-edit it, rewrite it? Just do it again. It just goes on and on and on and on. So with this one cream, I'm thinking maybe I do have a mental problem and my sleep is a mental issue of some kind. And that in itself is worth exploring. So what did I do? I basically combed through my routine on a day-to-day basis to find out, are there any repeating instigating effects that are affecting me? One begins with A, one begins with E. And does that itself change or influence the way I'm sleeping? Ultimately, I'm answering the question, where is that cortisol coming from? And that is important because I want that lowered so I can sleep and not have negative thoughts. But if you've watched the first part of the video, you know I'm already doing a lot of things to de-stress what is basically the time I have after I come home from work. But when I've looked at my life, I don't really have a stressful life. That's the weird part, until I realized that every day I would rush around on the metro system because time is money, of course, and I basically perceive everybody on the metro system as being an obstacle. And so every person I'm trying to pass is a mental form of stress. If I took things more slowly, I would probably disengage from that fight or flight mechanism that I'm putting onto myself. Importantly, just slowing down and being more self-aware of what I'm doing in the moment when I'm trying to commute is free. It's not something I need to buy. And you know what else is gnarly about this little rabbit hole that I'm going down, where I'm researching CBD oils, progesterone creams or hormone creams, then just learning about hormones, is that the humble Kiwi is there as a means to help you de-stress in your life, because kiwis contain serotonin. And as I said earlier in the video, serotonin is practically the opposite of cortisol. And every night now, I make sure to eat 1 or 2 kiwis before bedtime. And that is definitely the cheapest solution and most likely the most effective. More so than this. And yes, when I eat them with the skin on. That's the way you should eat kiwis. In wrapping up, CBD oils are a miss for me. This one hormone cream is not very good. And you can understand, because I should have bought maybe 4 or 5 and done the same amount of testing to see if at least one of them works. But the problem is, once you spend $500 on creams, the oils, and you've spent, this was $100 for 2, and I've still got 1 left, you realize that you can't keep investing in purchasing products on the whim, or on the chance, that they are going to work, especially when you discover something as simple as kiwis or going to bed earlier is far more effective. Of course, your mileage may vary. Anyway, in part 3, I'm going to explain what actually does work for me